Hey guys, let's go for a ride in this near 500 horsepower LS3 powered JK. It's got rock stars and 40s, pretty heavy, JKU. This has an LS3 in it from a Corvette, a 480 horse, which is a little bit different than what we normally do. We normally support the truck SUV engines. This engine is close to 500 horsepower, and it definitely has a little cam to it, a little rumble at idle, which is the compromise you're going to pay for that horsepower. Let's start it up. Definitely like the sound when you start it. It doesn't sound like a ricer. You can hear that cam. We got it set for about 750 RPM. We tried going lower, but started to lose intake manifold vacuum. Want to keep good brakes. Unlike the Pent Start, does not need a vacuum booster to assist brakes. But with this cam, we want to keep the idle up a little. The stock SUVs run about 550 RPM. Exhaust is running clean. We got a few hundred miles on it. Let's go for a short drive. I'm going to set the camera down here a second. This Jeep was supercharged, but it's not anymore. Oh, getting in these isn't as easy as it used to be. We do have a 2012 console in this with a 2012 bump shifter, and it's functional. Of course, we got our air conditioning and all. We're replacing this center unit. It had a wideband and a boost gauge in there. Let me show you something. You got reverse, neutral, drive. Now you'll notice when it's in the drive position, it can't be bumped. Bring it back one more. There's your manual mode. So, let's go for a ride. This engine definitely has a lope to it. Is it unmanageable? No. It's actually pretty docile. It does remind me a little bit of the Hemi with the aggressive nature. But when you're near 500 horsepower, there's going to be a price to pay. Anything over about 1,000 RPM, and it smooths right out. This would not be my first choice for rock crawling. I'd get the LS3 430, which has a lot of horsepower and a more stable idle. But for a Jeep that spends some time on the street and general off-roading, this engine will definitely get the job done. We got a 6L80 in it, so it's got a lot of power off the line. Of course, our cruise control works. We're using the standard factory Chrysler switch. As you can see, I'm turning the cruise on and off right in the dash. We're in the cruise mode. I'm going to come down here to our shifter, bring it back one. You'll see our indicators in a second. Downshift one, downshift again, bring it back into automatic. There you go. So we're in cruise now. You notice it held within 1 mile an hour. It's so easy to build speed with this Jeep, even with the 40s. You gotta watch it. Now I'm gonna roll the throttle on here a little in the automatic mode. I'm not really sure where it stops pulling, but it's definitely around 7,000 RPM. 0 to 60 on this Jeep now is about 5 seconds. It used to be about 9 with a blower. Set the cruise at 65. As you can see, our tune must be real close. We're switching really good. At least I hope you can see that. This engine runs about $6,500, which is actually a bargain. It has more power than a 6.4 SRT Hemi, which runs about 2 or 3 times the cost actually. It's an LS, so tuning and parts availability are readily available. And of course the weight, this engine weighs about 45 pounds more, the engine and transmission, than a 3.8 does. And to have nearly 2.5 times the power with only a 45-pound weight gain is pretty amazing. And it gets pretty good economy too. I think on the highway we're getting about 16 and a half with it when the cam comes in. You can definitely feel at the lower speeds, like right now, the cam is, the late intake valve closing is causing this rough idle. But once you get the cam into its RPM zone, it's pretty happy and runs pretty smooth on the highway. I think it would make a good long distance driver. Again, it reminds me a lot of the way the Hemi runs, with the aggressive horsepower, but it has a docile side too. You can just put it in automatic, set the cruise control, turn the air conditioning on, and it's just like the 6.2 SUV engine. It's very docile. And it's got a tremendous amount of horsepower. Available whenever you need it, no matter what speed you're going. Well, there's a little look at the LS3 480. Thanks.